Hello and welcome to Talks with Transformers. I am here with Jennifer Zivic from AdventureTravelGal.com. She just got back from a really incredibly cool trip in Spain that she's going to tell us a little bit about. And then she's also going to tell us about her blog and about how she can help us find some adventure in our lives. So Jennifer, welcome.
Awesome. Happy to be part of the Transformer segment. So yes, we mentioned the trip across Spain, which you may or may not have heard is called the Camino de Santiago. And that means you are walking across Spain, starting in France, ending at the sea, and you are walking all the way across the country. It takes about 5 to 6 weeks, 900 kilometers. There is a trail they call the Way, and you follow that trail all the way across the country, and you sort of go through these different villages and towns along the way. You meet lots of people from many, many different countries, and you kind of go through a self-discovery process as you do it. When you get to the end in Santiago de Compostela, you actually receive a certificate that says that you completed this miraculous accomplishment, that you reached this goal, and they give you sort of an official certificate. And really the history is that it's a pilgrimage that dates all the way back to the Apostle St. James. So it's something that you can do for religious reasons, or just do because you want to figure yourself out, or because you want to get in shape, whatever it is that you're trying to do at that time.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever you're trying to transform, you can usually do it on the Camino.
Cool. So, well, what were you trying to transform? Why did you take the trip?
So I'm sort of in one of those transitional, periods in my life, and I've been thinking more and more about, what sort of the next thing for me is. And I thought that it was a good time to do the Camino to help me sort through all that. And it really did, honestly. No huge epiphanies. I'm not going to claim that, going on a particular trip is going to all of a sudden give you some big light bulb and, and just have one of these hit you over the head moments. It's not really like that, but it's more of a process that you go through, that any trip that is approached more like an experience and less like a vacation can actually do. So I kind of went through this transformational process, and at the end sort of came out with a new outlook on the things that I wanted to do next, where I wanted to go in my life and my business and my blog and all of that stuff. So it was really a culmination of the 5.5 weeks and the couple of sort of stages that you go through as you're walking and doing something that grueling, that far, and for that many hours a day. So you really have sort of 4 stages. You go through sort of a physical realization process, then sort of a mental thinking and emotional piece, and then finally sort of a spiritual / closure kind of a process, and you come back sort of looking forward to new beginnings.
So tell us about the new beginnings.
So the new beginnings for me include one, and the most important one, and the one that I want to tell you about, is expanding upon the Adventure Travel Gal. So my blog, AdventureTravelGal.com, is very, very near and dear to my heart. It's a passion project of mine, but now I see a vision, and I see it transforming a little bit in a little bit different way, and in a way that I can reach out and help my community have experiences like I've experienced on the Camino and other places.
So you call this adventure travel, and we've been talking, I mean, what is adventure travel as opposed to other kinds of travel or taking a vacation?
So usually, well, in my mind anyway, I guess everybody has a different interpretation, but in my mind, adventure travel is when you go on a trip, an excursion, whatever you want to call it, and it involves something physical, and it involves a goal, something to be reached. So a physical goal to be reached. And while reaching that physical goal, you go through a lot of other processes and that are not physical. So it really starts with a physical goal that you're trying to reach, and then within doing that, you are embracing other cultures, meeting other people, and other factors are coming into play that are helping you reach that goal in a sort of a deeper way. So at the end, you think you're just trying to reach the summit of a mountain, but in the end, you realize you are sort of reaching the summit of something else.
When we were talking the other day, you mentioned to me that you are a member of the Million Mile Club on
Yes.
one of your airlines. I don't even remember if you even said which one. It doesn't matter. So I travel like crazy and have been for the last 15 years, and I have 250,000. So how the heck do you get 1,000,000 miles under your belt? How long have you been doing this? Since you were 3?
Yeah, well, not 3, but yeah, since I guess college, somewhere around there. And basically, I have tried to embrace any opportunity to take a trip, to travel, to have one of these experiences. So after I graduated college, I had sort of an entry-level job that was super fun because it was at a toy company, one of the big guys, and so they used to send me to Hong Kong quite frequently. Now, Hong Kong was great, that's fabulous, but after a while that gets old, going to the same place all the time. But what that posed for me was an opportunity to see other places. So for instance, on the way back from Hong Kong, I would plan a vacation or a trip and I'd stop in Australia on the way home. So for somebody just out of college who didn't have money to travel to Australia, I found a way to embrace the situation I was in and make it something more and fit within my budget and my time constraints and all that.
I love that, because actually when I was a theater major and did acting and directing, and when I realized I wanted to travel the country. So what I did was I just got jobs touring. So I basically did all this travel and my boss paid for it, And it sounds like that's kind of what you did. So you were able to take a business trip, and then you were lucky enough to work for somebody who'd give you a few days on either end to do something of your own? Is that how it
well,
worked?
I was creative, so I had X amount of vacation days a year, and I would just schedule them around something like this. I wasn't asking for anything more. I was just strategically using what I was given. So it was all about taking the resources that you had and sort of repurposing them. So that's what I did. Of course, when I got home from that trip, I always, needed to decompress, but that's for the weekends. That's what that other time is about. So I would just really, it was about being strategic. Oftentimes I would take a vacation or a trip and try to transform it into something bigger by combining it with a time of year where we already had 1 or 2 extra days off. So Thanksgiving or 4th of July or, something like that would work. And I would try not to travel away from where I was in New York or somewhere else when it was nice here. I was always trying to lift up my spirits in my life by traveling somewhere else when maybe the weather or whatever wasn't so great where I was currently living.
So what I love about this and what I love about this story is that you were essentially in an entry-level position.
Yes.
And you were still being adventurous and traveling around the world. Obviously,
Yes.
you were a kid right out of college. I assume that you don't have like some giant trust fund that was paying for you to do all this.
I'm a normal person, normal.
You're not a normal person.
Okay, I'm a little crazy, but normal in a sense that I had, what most people have in terms of a regular amount of vacation. I don't have some secret trust fund or, wealthy relative or somebody feeding me cash. I had to work within a budget and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, the message really is, and what made me want to start doing this and sharing my stories was, when I came back from the first mountain I summited, I'm sort of on a quest to climb the 7 summits. And I came back from Mount Kilimanjaro, the first of the 7 that I did, and people would say to me, "Oh, I wish I could do that. That's so great for you. I'll live vicariously through you," and that sort of stuff. And it sort of kept happening. I would hear the same statements all the time, and I thought, I don't get that. I really don't get that. Why can't you do it? I'm not a mountaineer. They say Kilimanjaro is the regular man's mountain. So it was about finding out that that's the regular man's mountain and tackling a mountain that I was capable of climbing. Yes, I had to train, but at the end of the day, I was able to do it. And I'm not anything that is so super special and extraordinary that I don't know how to say it. Yeah, like I said, of course I'm special, But
Right.
you know, like
You've
I'm
got
just
a
saying,
job.
like
You're not
right,
like an
it's-
Olympic athlete going out
Right.
and dedicating your life to doing crazy adventure sports.
Right. You say, well, it's nice that you could do, and why can't I? Well, I'm no different than you, I guess.
So
is
I
what
can
I'm
do
saying.
it.
So you
This is your
totally
message.
can do it.
Yeah.
You totally can do it, and that's my quest. Is to tell you that you can. It may take a little planning, may take a little thought, and that's what the Adventure Travel Gal is here for. In my blog, I'm here to share resources with you so that you can accomplish that. And after the resource part, the Adventure Travel Gal can even do more once you get there. Subscribe to the blog, and then from there you can engage with the community, make comments. You can read the different articles, there's links, there's all sorts of ways to sort of get involved. And of course, I'm available to my community through the different social media touch points. And I'm more than willing to work on a much more personal basis as well, I hope that things evolve in that direction.
So who is your average blog reader? I mean, who goes and reads your blog or watches? I know you're doing some videos, and you did some videos of the El Camino, right?
Yes.
El Camino.
Yes.
And a couple of them were hilarious. I remember the cows, which was hysterical. You've got to go to the website and see this German kid. German or Swiss or Swedish?
He's a Swedish guy talking about the cows, and that perhaps the cows are German because they're very organized.
Yeah, it's hysterical. You got to go check this video out. And now I've totally forgotten my question. So who goes to your site? Who reads your blog? Who watches your videos?
So I'm finding the people that most enjoy the blog are individuals who are in some type of transition, who are facing something in their life that they're unsure about. So that could be somebody in transition who's leaving sort of a typical job to start their own business. It could be someone who is a bit younger and frustrated with the opportunities that are out there. Since they, graduated college and are feeling like things are a little bit limited, or the corporate environment is changing because of all that's happened in the world in the last 10 years. So really people that have something going on that maybe they need to, maybe they're feeling like they need a trip. So those are the people that generally come, and I'm hoping that I'm translating that curiosity into something bigger, like a travel experience. So maybe they first come to look and check out ideas for trips, and maybe they realize that they kind of need more of an experience, and then they dive deeper into the blog. Okay,
so if I went to your site and decided, all right, I want to do something like this, how do I get a hold of you? Do you work individually with people? Do you work with groups? I mean, do you consult? How do you help people out besides just going and reading your blog?
Yes, so that's the first step, and I would love for you to subscribe, and that truly, truly is the first step. But you can absolutely reach out to me on the blog. There are many ways. You can make comments, you can send a direct email, and I am available to work one-on-one. If there seems to be a real benefit to us spending one-on-one time together, I will suggest that, and I will be available for that. So you can definitely hire me on a consultant-type basis in this way. And in addition, if you need someone to help actually book your trip, I can send you to those resources and those people as well that fit your type of trip, or that live in your community, that live in your part of the world. And lastly, I'm available for speaking engagements. So if there's a bigger group, if you know of a bigger group that might benefit from my stories and conversation and services, I'd be more than willing to speak on a larger scale and try to bring those people in as well to understand the transformative experience that travel can bring you. Cool.
And you have a great Facebook page too.
I do.
So we can find you on Facebook.
You can find me on Facebook. So The Adventure Travel Gal. Of course, facebook.com/The Adventure Travel Gal. Instagram as well. I love Instagram because obviously anything that has to do with travel does really well with photos and 15-second videos. And a lot of the travel bloggers don't love Instagram like I do. So if you're Instagram, all you millennials out there, you should be tuning in to me.
All right.
And Twitter is where I started. All the travel bloggers start on Twitter, but that's the thing. The Adventure Travel Gal has taken it further than Twitter, and we've hit the other places where some of those famous travel bloggers are not.
And you're branching out and using video.
Yes.
So we get to see you on the road doing your thing in real life.
Totally. So you can really get a feel, and you see that it's not coined, it's not fake. This is kind of the real deal. I'm really just kind of out of the box, relaxed, and I just want to kind of relate to you. I don't want to be that sort of professional, really buttoned up person. In this world, that's not what my community needs. They need someone they can talk to and figure out what they want to do next and sort of be real with, because if you can't be real and relaxed, what you come up with isn't going to be the right thing.
Got it. Well, Jennifer, thank you for joining us here on Talks with Transformers. Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Zivic, who is the Adventure Travel Gal, adventuretravelgal.com, or you can also find Adventure Travel Gal on Facebook and all these other social media places. So,
Woo!
Jennifer, thank you.
Come see me.
All right.
Very heavy, huh? Now, what was the first step? The next step is